Well, hello there, everyone. Talk about right here about the truth about Obamacare, and how many of us are going to want to word it. If we were to actually do our homework though, and like want to know about exactly about the truth of the matter of the talking about Obamacare, and talk about Obamacare, and I went ahead and worked this right here to where to make sure that all Americans had the health care that they need, for their families and their children. So it seems like for what we call, for the purpose about, it's like for Obamacare, and I worked this right here. If this right here was supposed to be an example right here of what the actual sign would look like for, say this, what you call this plan, for helping those who at need, those, middle, if it's middle class families, those who are in need, for health insurance, and then they can sign up to get Obamacare. And so it seems like that a lot of times that, if like, in case of anybody that may one or two that, the truth of the matter about Obamacare. And so it seems like that whenever I think about this too, and also in case of anybody that may want to about the truth about his real birth certificate, but I'm like, yeah, that, anything that they're going to be talking about on the news media, but and half the time it seems like that, can we really get to the truth of the matter? But I'm like, making sure that everybody has health insurance. It's in half the time that we want to that, that, whenever, if you're going to be getting insurance, and let's just say that, with this new plan, that, if you were not able to keep your doctor that you liked, or maybe if there's going to be anything, what we hear about false information. But I tell you one thing, everybody, that about America though, that really that it seems like you hear about a lot about that. I guess maybe from the Republican side, it could also be about the matter about that in order to be able to help everybody get insurance, the health care that they need, then poor likely that there's going to be a plan to where that the Republicans, I'm like, yeah, a few of the people who are what you call, for the milk, for how the plan is going to be arranged and set up to where that that they'll be able to get the health coverage that they need, but then those their tax rates would go up. So yeah, that I guess maybe it's a tax bill. Maybe the tax bill is what you call one of what you call this, if you want to call it, is to where that whenever the taxes go up, and then as well as for the coverages though, like maybe if there's a change in the coverage to where that maybe not everybody's gonna like it. So at the time, it seems like that, really, that is Obamacare really, was that really a disaster for our country or not? But I tell you one thing, everybody, that, come on now. I'm like, we're also thinking about right here to making sure that everybody has health insurance. And, for with President Obama, like, for what, while he was in office, that, making sure that that bill got passed, but not everybody's going to agree with it. Not everybody's going to agree with the fact about that. Okay, with this new health care plan, that not everybody's going to agree to pay the amount, or if it's supposed to cost you anything. And I guess according to what the bill is supposed to say, whenever it's passed, it's not supposed to cost the American people anything. And so you're likely one too that. From what you hear about Obamacare, that really, if it's really a misleading of information about the whole situation. But you have right here, I also want to mention right here that the way I painted, the way I worked this right here, and this right here was supposed to be like an example right here of like progress about from where we started and from where we're at now, and use the American flag at that with my stretching it with like lessons learned. But in case of anybody that may say that, if you're trying to tell everybody about what do you think about President Obama's birth certificate, and well, what do you think about maybe his degree? So let's just say that if somebody wanted to investigate and find out about his law degree, about his marital license, Yeah, why are we even wasted time to even look back at maybe the marital license or about the fact about who the children belong to? I'm like, anybody who's going to be president, it seems like that's part of, your skill, between Democrat and Republican, libertarian parties. I'm like, we're talking about politics here, that it seems like that, you just, if this whole matter abides toward it, you're just you're just curious about it, or if you're just trying to start problems, whichever it is. But the way I think about it, though, that really, though, that the point about Obamacare, according to my understanding, it's supposed to be making sure the American people, that make sure that they have insurance. Middle class families, if it's the children, and then the single parents. I'm like, yeah, single parents. If you did not have insurance before, that is a plan to be signed up. But still, though, that maybe not everybody's going to be happy about the fact about they were not able to keep the doctor that they liked, or it could be about maybe the test results. The test results were a lot more expensive, and then they had a co-payment. The patient had a co-payment of a certain amount. But still, though, that like what I want to know about. Back in 2011, I think it was, whenever the bill was passed, that this is mainly to make sure that the American people had insurance. So, as I say, whenever we pay our taxes, we have to, when we file our taxes, pay our tax, but still file our taxes, then we would have to show information about that we have insurance. So it's like, yeah, that knowing about, if we were able to keep our doctor, and if you like your doctor, or that, oh, well, you had to transfer to a different clinic. But I'll tell you one thing, though, that really, though, whenever a bill passes and maybe 5 years later, then maybe you're going to have maybe a governor or a president that's going to say that, it's a disaster for our country, but still, that I'm like, according to my understanding, it's mainly to help those at need for helping them get the insurance that they need. It's not really about, oh, okay, you were not able to keep your doctor. I'm like, oh, you really liked your doctor, because I can tell anybody here that sometimes with Medicare and Medicaid, I'm like, you have these different insurance companies, and sometimes you have these doctors that if they no longer take your insurance, or that maybe if they're going to be transferring to another clinic. So what's this all about? I mean, half the time I really wonder too, what's this all about? About is to where that you're not happy. You are not happy because you were dropped coverage. I'm like, in case of anybody that may want to where that nobody needs to go to a doctor and find out that they were dropped. The coverage, and but let's just say that for whatever reason, if Obamacare didn't work, but still, though, that it's just like that, yeah. That so in case of anybody that may say that, yeah, that right there, let's just say that in case of anybody that may want to where somebody asked to make a copy of that, or whichever you call it, just to investigate, or just for what you call for evidence about that, they're going to go ahead and use this image right here, but. Looking at the President Obama's birth certificate right here, and I guess you say that, yeah, you ought to look at the Kenyan birth certificate, and then maybe also about maybe his ex-girlfriend, or maybe his marital license. About does he have a certificate about his marital license? But still, though, that in case of anybody that may want to, that really, that before he was elected. The 45th before he was elected the 44th president, I one or two that that's something that maybe that all, but we all would have known. I like to say that although his birth certificate, that there's something wrong with this certificate, but still, though, that in case of anybody that may want to, where yeah, it looks like from what I have printed out right here, it looks a little bit like that a few of the prints were all whited out and all that, but still, that any source of proof that born here in this country, though, and in case of anybody that may want to where there's like any source of mobile app that you can use just for any source of a proof of information. But talk about the basic understanding about the truth about Obamacare. that it's mainly to make sure that all Americans have insurance. Not really about, oh, I promise you that your bill, your medical expenses are going to be less than 20%, whenever you go to a doctor next time. Really, to make sure that the American people who don't have insurance, making sure that they do have insurance. But other than that, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.